So these tutorials have been broken up into some basic material at the start, and then modelling A and B, as well as maybe some tutorial discussions. So this modelling A is simply looking at how we can find the centre and radius of a sphere in 3D. But to do that, we need to go back to some basics. We need to go back to rewriting our quadratic equations in the form of x plus a all squared is equal to b, or we have to complete the square. To complete the square, so here we have an equation, we need to find an a. To find an a, the simplest thing to do is look in front of our x, take the number and divide it by 2. So in this case, we've got minus 10. If we divide that by 2, we get minus 5. And I don't know if you can hear the frogs outside. It's been recorded at my place. So we have x squared minus 5x minus 5x plus 6, but if we consider our x plus a all squared, that's in fact x squared plus ax plus ax plus a squared. So in order to have your a squared, in our case it will actually be 25, so minus 10x, I'm just going to put that back in the same form that it was, would have plus 25, but if we add 25, we must minus 25. The reason why we must minus what we've added is so that the sum, 25 minus 25, is 0, and it doesn't change the equation. So we have x minus 5 all squared minus 25 plus 6, because this is in fact our square here, and minus 19. So to get it in the form, x minus 5 all squared is equal to 19. So a is minus 5 and b is 19. Do exactly the same thing in our next question, but we have minus 11. So minus 11 divided by 2 is minus 5. So we have x squared minus 2, well, I'm just going to leave the minus 2, or we can have 2, minus 5.5 x, but we need to add our minus 5.5 squared and minus it, because we have to keep everything the same. Minus 12 is equal to 0. So we have x minus 5.5 all squared, and 5.5 squared is 30.25. So minus 30.25 minus 12 is equal to 0. So x minus 5.5 is minus 42.25, and we have, moving that across to the other side, 42.25. I hope you have tried all these problems before you watch this, because it's not going to be beneficial to just watch me do everything. At the end of the day, if you try everything, then when you watch me, you can see where you might have gone wrong, or another technique. So maybe you found a better technique. It is possible. Let's rearrange this one. And we have x squared minus 8x. So halving minus 8, we get minus 4. So we add minus 4 all squared and minus it is equal to 0. So we've got x minus 4 all squared minus 16 is equal to 0. So x minus 4 all squared is equal to 16. Now, why did we need this? Show that this equation represents a sphere and find its centre and radius. So, in one of the lectures in week 1, the equation of the sphere was given. The equation of the sphere was x minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared plus z minus L all squared is equal to R squared, where the centre is H, K, L. So we need to get this equation into that form. To get that into that form, we need to complete the squares. So completing the squares, well, let's do it. We have our x's. So half of 6x is 3x. So we have x plus 3 all squared. But we need to do, as we've always done, we're adding it and minusing it. So we need to minus 3 squared. So minus 3 squared. Then we have our y's. So we've got y squared minus 2y. So half of minus 2, sorry, not minus 2y, minus 4y is minus 2. So minus 2 all squared is 4. But we're going to add 4, so we have to minus 4. So we have y minus 2 all squared. This is adding the 4. So now we're going to minus the 4. Then our z there and there, that's only a 1. So half of 2 is a 1. So we're going to add 1 and minus 1. So we have z plus 1. That in the brackets is already adding the 1. We're going to minus the 1, and then we still have the 5 left over. So we collect our parts of the sphere. 1 all squared is equal to, now let me just do this as an aside. So we have minus 9 minus 4 minus 1 plus 5. That goes there, so it's minus 9. So we're going to move that minus 9 to the other side, so we're adding it. We get 9. This means the centre of the sphere is minus 3, 2, minus 1. And the radius of the sphere is the square root of 9, which is equal to 3 units. Okay, let's move on.